Over the last couple years, we had the unique opportunity to to grow with OA Defense. And the fact that we reviewed the very first OA Defense, the 2311 original model, right? So the full size. Then we did the Compact Pro, and then we did the full size Pro, which the full size Pro, I ran this at the Mammoth Sniper Challenge. It was flawless. It is a fantastic shooting gun. And I have come to realize that in my experience, the 2311 pistols, right? I can't guarantee this for everybody, but I can tell you from my experience, is the most reliable single action pistol I have used. Needing less maintenance, less lubrication, less care, just you name all of those things. Are they the softest shooting? No. Right? I have other 2011s or, double stack 1911s that are softer shooting and flatter shooting. I've just found that these have been more reliable under more austere conditions, meaning just you don't really need to take care of them as much, right? This one in particular, the Pro, 6,000 rounds is probably on the low side for this pistol. It shoots and has shot everything through it, right? It's a ported gun. It's just reliable, right? I made a video where I kind of beat the crap out of my other one, threw it in the sand and stuff like that, and it didn't have any issues. In fact, I couldn't believe it, right? This thing has been fantastic. I would trust my life to this pistol. The only thing I have not really ever been a huge fan of with most of the 2311 is the grip, right? It's a little bit on the wonky side here at the bottom. And you'll notice here on the original Pro, I actually took and put the Talon grip tape there on the bottom, and it made it feel a lot better, because what happens on the bottom with your pinky finger is there is some force that goes in there with your pinky finger and actually holds that grip in place and holds it to the heel of your palm, to be fair. You're not putting a ton of pressure because this is your firing hand, but it does actually lend itself to be a little bit more grippy, right? And I've never thought the grips were the best. They weren't my favorite. The circumference is good. How they feel in your hand is good in regards to like the size. But enter the all-new Pro Elite, which we saw this at SHOT Show, and the aluminum grip module that's on this, now they're not necessarily interchangeable, there is a difference, but the aluminum grip module that's on this all-new Pro Elite is fantastic. It feels like somebody spent some serious time making a grip that just feels perfect for your hand. It's smaller in circumference than any 2011 or double stack 1911 you're gonna find. It feels a lot more like a 320, right? If you're somebody that likes a 320 series in regards to how they feel in your hand, this feels like that. It has a very nice deep undercut on the trigger guard, which is probably one of the finer features I found, right? So you can get a very high grip. It feels good in your hand. And really, this prickle grip as it is, with this like diamond texture, will be too aggressive for some folks. With this grip, they did anodize it, and I talked to them about that at SHOT Show. The reason they did that is because by doing some of the other coatings, they get a little bit more on like the slick side, but by doing this, it's more like a rough anodization process, and it makes it so it's even more grippy, right? And that's a very nice feeling. I love how aggressive it is, right? It feels fantastic. Now the rest of the frame itself, up here, they will have interchangeable, let's say, thumb ledges. So if you don't want any at all, you'll be able to take them off and be able to change some of those things and make it a little bit more modular on this pistol. That of course does all come with a cost, because the rest of the pistol itself is no different than the standard Pro, right? It has a ported barrel on here that's designed to like reduce muzzle flash, port the gases away from your face while you're shooting and things like that. More defensive minded versus complete performance. I haven't shot this pistol yet, right? So I'm interested to see how the two of them kind of compare, and I'm definitely going to do that throughout the review because I think it's important, right? It's almost $1,000 more expensive than the standard Pro. It's probably a little bit closer to 700, right? You have to know, is it worth your money? But with any of their pistols, especially the Pro Series, right, you're going to get 3 of the Magpul 21 round mags, and you're going to get 2 of the 17 round mags. So you get 5 mags total out of the box. Arguably, you could buy the pistol and not need to buy any magazines for a very long time. On top of it, these are cheap. They've run great inside this pistol, and I have no doubt they're going to run great in the all-new Pro Elite. So we'll run this pistol, we'll see how it performs. It does have, real large safeties on here, which for me personally, I'm not a fan of the huge safeties. And in fact, on this pistol that's been used and abused, it got a little bit of loving from the good Lord in a Dremel. I shaved it down, sanded it. In fact, the folks at OA, they said, hey, how'd you get safeties on there? They were like that. And I said, I used a Dremel, right? So if you're anybody that's shot competitively and things like that, you tinker and you tune your gear, right? So for me, it's like no big deal, right? It works well. And in fact, this fits then in my Safariland holster. With these, larger wing safeties on this model in particular, now you can order these where you can get smaller ones. With these ones here, will not fit in a lot of holsters just because of how wide they are. There's some people that really like how wide these are. Like my buddy Colin, he really likes how wide they are. I do not. I think they're a little bit too much for me personally. And in fact, for me, like when I make my grip, and I actually come down with the safety because of how wide it is, it actually starts to hit me on my support hand. Like I said, personally, that's how I feel about it. Outside of that, the rest of it, the fit and finish is great. The frame, the slide fit is fantastic, and they use a linkless barrel, right? So there's no bushing and all that stuff. It's a lot like how the CZ75 series of pistols are. So let's get out on the range. We'll shoot this thing, and I really want to see how this thing performs. You know, it feels great. You know, is it as smooth as a $4,000 Atlas? No, it's not, right? Is it probably more reliable? I'd probably actually bet my money on that, right? I think Atlas makes fantastic 2011s, but I don't know that they're more reliable than this pistol, or these pistols have shown me to be. For me personally, how this grip feels in my hand is absolutely fantastic, and it's enough for me to want to buy one. Again, is that for everybody? Absolutely not, right? A lot of folks, the extra money that you're going to pay for the Pro Elite versus the standard Pro to get the metal grip, you may never see that performance change. So let's get out of the range. We'll see if we can kind of evaluate that a little bit. I'll give you my thoughts on how it feels and see if it feels like it shoots differently because of the grip. And then you guys can make your own educated decision based off our video. All right, our first rounds out of the OA Defense 2311 Pro Elite. This gun, when we got it sent to us, it had already been used. So this is a T&E gun. So we'll see how it performs. I decided I'm not cleaning it. I'm not cleaning somebody else's mess, to be fair. So let's see how she performs. All right. Little trigger freeze, a little slower, making sure our impacts are better, shooting good. The grip on here is a night and day difference between the standard 2311. A little bit on the slow side in the reload. All right, we'll put the gun in the holster real quick. I'll show you guys something. So you'll see on my hands, you can actually see the dimples from the grip itself. You know, sorry I have adult man hands, so you can see I got some calluses and whatnot, but you'll see that it's actually leaving dimples on my hands. So pretty cool stuff there. Overall, the grip feels really, really good as far as for texture goes. What I want to do now is I'm actually going to move up on the target because these are geared as like a duty gun with race gun DNA, right? So they're built to be reliable and be run for, you know, maybe law enforcement, whatever it would be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shoot from close quarters retention on this target. What I'll do is I'll do it from the holster. I'll shoot 3 rounds. I'll retreat. I'll put 2 to the chest and 1 to the head. Okay, 287 on that. Good hits here, all that, and then of course, you know, the good headshot. What I'll tell you is, like with these pistols in general, like whether it's the Pro or this Elite Pro or Pro Elite, is that you don't have an issue as far as for the gas coming up and hitting you in the face. So, right, so even if I'm in here at close quarters retention on the paper, a lot of times we get folks that they're like, hey, you know, what about spalling coming out of the ports and stuff like that? It's important to shoot the right kind of ammo so you don't have that issue. Those are soft. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shoot 2 to the chest and 1 to the head. We'll do it at speed. I'm going to try and accomplish this on both targets in 5 seconds or less, which is a pretty, you know, forgiving and generous time. But accuracy will be key. All right. All right, good. So all good hits. Nothing outside of the norm, nothing that we shouldn't expect. 4:37 on the time. Let's speed it up. Okay. All good hits there. All good hits here. I mean, yeah, she shoots good, especially like look at my hand, right? Like that's what I want. It's gripping well. You can really see that like in my palm, especially. Like that's good, right? Like the pistol is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And what's crazy is I'll break out my other gun. Is that by sheer grip alone, this pistol shoots softer, or feels like it shoots softer and easier to shoot than the other 2311 Pro, right? That I've shot thousands upon thousands of rounds through, and it's been a fantastic gun. But this thing, how it feels and shoots with the grip is better. So this is the original OA Defense 2311. This is the OA 2311 Pro. The next one obviously is the Pro Elite. So this one here has their standard grip module, and the way it feels to me is like this is considerably less recoil, even though much of the rest of the gun isn't any different. So let's shoot this thing here, then we'll consider how that shoots. She's accurate, that's for sure. Shooter error will make it be induced, but this gun is accurate. So, good stuff there. All right, let's see how this metal frame one shoots. All right, all that grip. Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, is it like a monstrous difference? No, it's not, but my goodness, does that grip feel good, right? Like that is, by all intents and purposes, if you're a competition shooter and you're interested in an OA 2311, the Elite Pro or Pro Elite is for you, right? That is perfect. That grip is everything you could want, right? Like that is, it's aggressive. It feels good in your hand. It bites you, right? Like in a good way, right? It doesn't have sharp edges on the pistol or anything like that. It just feels really, really nice. Couple more. That is it. The OA Defense 2311 Pro Elite is an awesome, awesome shooting gun. I think they're built very well. They're built here in the US, of course, with US parts, and they just do a really fantastic job of caring about the product that they're putting out with. They recently moved from Nevada to North Carolina to improve productions, as well as quality control and things like that. So maybe if you're somebody that did experience issues with your 2311, there's going to be some changes coming out, of course, right? This thing has tons of great features, from the Springer Precision extended magazine release. The grip on here is just phenomenal. It feels absolutely fantastic. It clearly shows on my hand how it feels. It's biting on my palm heels and things like that where it's supposed to, and it just feels really, really great. I think that, in my opinion, for me, both the pistols are expensive, right? They're not going to be for everybody. Some of them are cheaper than others. But at the, whether it's the standard Pro at roughly $2,500, and this one does reach around the $3,000 price tag, for the right shooter, I think it's worth it. Not for everybody, right? If you're somebody that's like, oh, that's too aggressive, you should probably try and go feel one of these, because for a lot of shooters I've spoken to, they think that it's too aggressive for them. Now for me, the more aggressive, the better. I can honestly care less. And in fact, when you're shooting the gun at speed and things like that, it translates on target as to how the gun performs under recoil. At speed, your hands get dirty, muddy, or bloody, and it really does perform. As usual for us with the 2311 pistols, it's going to get the Hunt Fit Shoot seal of approval because the OA Defense 2311 Pro Elite is a fantastic gun that shoots even better.